correctly. So, hello.
Hello.
Good
I was
day.
just saying, I think after this session, I'm going to have to migrate my character sheet over to the new format instead of sticking with the old format,
Okay.
because I can't seem to figure out how to edit the items to do all the things that they need to do.
Okay.
So, if I want to have all the cool items do what they need to do, I think I'm going to have to migrate over.
Let's see.
The 2024 sheet is actually a lot easier to use than the 2014 one.
Yeah.
Also,
So I'll just have to be careful to make sure that I set her up exactly the same way that she is.
yeah. Guess I will get myself a drink then.
So I've been poking around on wikis and everything, and it looks like the way it's done with the old sheet is through handouts, and handouts can only be done by GM. I don't want to put that on you, so
That's all right.
I'll just migrate my sheet over. And
I mean, I can actually generate that stuff for you if you need it. So,
I mean,
but
it'll only take me like 15 minutes to migrate my sheet over to the new format and then set up the items, so
okay.
it's not a big deal. I just wanted to let you know that I'm doing it so you don't
Sure.
see me poking around in character creation and wonder what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah, that's fine. I would recommend skipping the character mancer or whatever
Yeah.
they're calling it.
Yeah, just go ahead and put in all my stuff manually.
Yeah, that'll be actually way faster.
Yep.
The character mancer is actually pretty fast. I can make a character in like 5 minutes with the character mancer.
Well, yeah, but getting it to match your existing character, it actually takes way longer than if you just do it manually.
Yeah,
'Cause
editing a sheet to match my existing character will go a lot faster.
yeah. Because
Well,
it's
I
literally.
have had to do that a couple of times, make an existing character in the Roll20. And I did that in Character Mancer in like 10-15 minutes. I just
Yeah,
have to.
but in my Theros campaign, it literally took me less than 60 seconds to completely manually create one of the people's characters because they couldn't get the character mancer to work right. And that was complete.
So,
you know.
Oh, to each their own.
Yeah.
yep. It'll just get done. Like I said, I just didn't want you to wonder why I was poking around in character creation. And
the other thing I will mention is if you do have a problem, we don't need to actually use handouts. What I can do is actually generate all the macros for you, and then you put them in your bio or your notes area. And when you need to use that item, you just copy and paste it to the chat box.
Oh, okay.
What are we talking about?
So the custom items that I have for the Feywild, she's having a problem. Normally, what you do, at least historically in Roll20, is you find a similar magic item in Roll20's compendium. You put that into your sheet, and then you edit that item to match the custom item. she's having a problem doing that in the old sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So she's talking about switching over to a new sheet. Her research was
124 sheet.
yeah. Her
Yep.
research had told her that you would basically have to do this. Normally, set up the items in a handout, except you don't actually have to do it that way. You can set up the macros in your own notes on your character sheet, and then you just copy and paste them to the chat when you're going to use that ability. So, just pointing that out. That's all. Okay,
Which would be fine too.
Yeah. So just let me know.
Whatever works.
Yeah. All right. As I recall, we were traveling.
Yep, traveling.
And we had was it 4 days left?
Sounds about right.
Okay. So day 4.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We've had a lot of uh-ohs on this particular leg of the trip.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
How would I add 2 advantage from my shield to my stat block?
You just enable it or equip it. Somewhere around the item, there should be a box that says equipped. Or the box will be, or the label will be at the top, and there'll be like a little checkbox or a slide that says equipped.
Yeah, I know, like, how to equip something. My question is more like, how do I add all the special
It
properties of
should
it?
do it automatically unless. Oh,
Okay. He's talking about the special properties. So
okay. You have to go into the shield. If it's not adding the proper AC bonus. No, it should be right.
yeah, it's if you equip it and unequip it, you should see your AC change.
Mm.
Yeah, your original
It's not the AC
is
that's the issue. It's the like the things that it adds, like initiative, and then I can impose disadvantage.
Okay, those you have to edit manually.
oh, the
Okay.
description that you just have to click on the pencil and
Right.
paste it, and you just have to remember that it does that.
Okay.
Or I think you could do it in advanced option to make it so that it automatically adds that. Did I? Yes, I did.
Okay.
Ah,
As you guys are riding in the wagon, there's stupid old wagon. I don't know why I gotta pull this wagon. The sky starts turning black, and it begins raining drops of black liquid on everything, and it seems as if all the plants in the area around you are withering. And the mules are panicking. And then the wagon gets stuck.
uh, huh.
What do you do?
So, is our wagon stuck in like mud?
That's what it seems like.
I had prestidigitation, right? Yes, they do.
Sir Bramble looks at the rest of you and goes, "Hey, this stuff is sticky."
Hmm.
Yeah, he's like
I wonder what it is.
trying to rub it between his fingers. You can all roll perception checks.
Um,
Hate my potato Wi-Fi.
Delphi is going to use her wand to give everybody advantage on their perception checks.
Okay. So roll those perception checks at advantage.
It's a 20 for Delphi.
Okay.
1 second. I'm just doing a little fiddling in a different character sheet. Okay, so that and perception. There we go. 21.
Okay. Um, as it starts sticking to your skin, um, all of you begin to realize what is falling on you is not not rain, and it's confirmed
Oh, sorry.
when some of the liquid lands on some dead branches, and the branches burst into flowers. Um, and not just flowers, it's like vibrant blossoms everywhere. And as you're standing there, you're covered in this black goo. The entire forest around you turns into like a giant field of flower blossoms. The tar is actually sap from an ancient fey tree that only blooms once every 1,000 years.
That's what this black liquid is?
Yes.
Hmm. Can we like collect it?
Yes.
Awesome. Do we have any bottles?
That's a good question. Do you?
Let's see. Does Delphi have any bottles? No, Delphi has no bottles.
Um. I have a
As
herbalism kit.
a fairy, Delphi has druidcraft, so I think she's going to go around and start using druidcraft to encourage more growth.
Okay. Okay.
Just kind of helping the process along.
Uh, so while you're unable to basically collect and store the sap, what you could do is collect in the blossoms. Because the blossoms are actually blooming on dead things. You even begin to see the drops turn into blossoms on Sir Bramble. So
Somebody with a better nature score than me.
uh, it's Fox, right? No.
I mean, I have
It's
a
not Fox.
+3 to nature.
Doc.
Yes.
You would realize that these blossoms have some limited healing capabilities.
I don't really have anything to collect them with unless I empty my holy water pouches. I have a healer's, or I have a herbalist's kit. It doesn't expressly say that it has a bottle in it, though.
You won't need a bottle, you need a bag.
Flowers.
I have an empty pouch. I would give my empty pouch over.
The Fey
Yeah,
blossoms can be crushed later and used to automatically succeed on a death save or end the charm condition or cast lesser restoration once.
that seems helpful. Okay,
So I
so
will.
let's stick them in that bag that
Okay.
that she's giving me.
I give
I mean,
Doc my
We'll mash
empty
them together.
pouch.
Okay.
I have like +3 to nature and a +4 to medicine.
So that's what you collect.
Pretty good.
Nice. Okay. Does crushing them like take any time? They're just flowers, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of the dagger with the raven motif?
Look back at the
I
note.
forgot.
I think it was just the
Could just-
Raven Claw dagger. Let's see. Where's the
Isn't it just called like the Raven Dagger or something?
Yeah, I think it's just called the Ravenclaw dagger.
Right.
Ah. Damn it. Okay. Here it is. Let's see. So we had Sting of the Thorn Queen. We had Shadowfang.
It's not in the Discord. If that's where you're looking, unless it's your notes.
Are you talking about the massively charged one or just the?
Yeah, it's
The
just
normal.
it's just the it doesn't have a name.
Oh, it was just a +1 dagger with ravens on it.
With
Yeah.
yeah, the pommel is carved into the shape of the head of a raven. That's all.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. The rest of the day finishes uneventfully. So 3 days left. Day 3.
Hey.
Okay. So
At 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock.
you guys finish the grueling climb up to the summit of the mountains, and you find an ancient ring of standing stones surrounding a weathered stone chair. The stones are covered in moss and fey runes, so old that even magic struggles to translate them. The chair faces
Okay. So
southwest towards distant forests. Resting on the chair is a brass telescope, the likes of which you have never seen before.
Please unlock the device to continue.
Okay. So, what do you guys do?
Can I investigate sense further? Like we see the telescope, obviously. Is there anything else?
Yes.
I would like to cast Identify on the telescope.
It does not appear to be a magical item.
Okay.
Is the telescope pointing in any like direction, like at something?
No, it's just laying in the chair.
Oh, is the
I want to use prestidigitation to clean up the moss and see if I can make the runes more readable.
Okay.
I also have comprehend languages to see if that could give me any sort of sign. So that is
If between the two of us we can try to figure out what some of these runes say.
yes, but I need a pinch of soot and a pinch of salt to cast the spell. Mm. I mean, we could always burn a torch or something to get the soot.
Well, I would assume you would have maintained soot from one of the many campfires you've had.
or lamps?
That,
I have a
yeah,
lamp and
that's
oil.
true. Yeah, and he probably would have, knowing that he would have to use the material components.
Yeah.
And
And
then a pinch of
Do you need
salt.
that for a spell?
then salt
Yes.
you would generally have because if you don't serve Bramblewood, he salts his food.
I was gonna say, and your
Okay.
rations.
That's true. Okay. Avery is gonna ritually cast comprehend languages to see
Okay.
if that would be of any help.
Okay.
Is it would have to be for 1 hour for me to be able to complete the spell, to be able to read any language.
That should be plenty of time for Delphi to prestidigitate the area.
Okay.
Yes. Are any of these stones like? Can you describe the area better?
Let's see. So imagine you're standing at the apex peak of a mountain. And looking
we're
around,
the-
you can see, forests off in the distance, plains, other mountain ranges.
Can we see the spot where Moss Hollow is
here?
gonna appear?
Moss Hollow. Yeah.
Yes, actually, you can.
And obviously, it hasn't come up yet, but like, is there anything there in the meantime?
Not that you can make out without using the telescope.
Oh, coincidentally, there's a telescope right here.
Can I like look at the area with the telescope, or is
Yeah.
Aver like using that?
Oh no, I'm concentrating on a ritual to cast comprehend languages.
Oh, okay. And the language isn't Sylvan?
No, it is not.
Gotcha.
So you start looking, and you can roll a dex save for me.
Me?
Yes. Okay. So you are highly surprised as you look through the telescope because the view from the telescope does not match what you see with your unaided eyes. When you look through the telescope, you don't see the forest, the hills, or the trails that crisscross the countryside. Uh,
You said the telescope wasn't magic, though.
that is a true statement. The telescope is not magical. Uh, as you're looking through
Did I
the,
say?
go ahead.
I said earlier that I cast Identify on it.
Yes.
It's not magical, it's doing something else.
Hmm.
Okay, sorry, you were saying that? It's something, we're seeing something else to it.
Yes. What you see is the Fey energy through the telescope
Uh-huh.
of the land. You don't see the trees, you see the Fey energy being emitted. And what you see for a brief second, not where you expect Moss Hollow to appear, but where you believe it is currently. You know how when you're on a highway and you get the shimmering mirage?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I
you,
don't.
it happens frequently in the United States on highways. You actually see Moss Hollow in its current location, but only for a second. Because
Okay.
so what's happening is you're seeing reflections of the Feywild creating mirages in the reflection of the Feywild magic.
Neat.
So there's a stretch of highway in Kansas in the United States that you can see the mountains in Colorado as a mirage when the humidity is at a very specific level and the temperature is above a certain threshold. And
Right.
it's
Makes
actually
sense.
it is one of the strangest things I have ever witnessed because the mountains are like 400 miles away, but you can see them seemingly very clearly in the middle of Kansas.
That is weird.
Yeah, and it is an atmospheric mirage.
Okay. So,
The water is reflecting the mountains from a distance close by.
Yes, in the atmosphere, yes, moisture in the atmosphere does that.
The condensation would be high enough to cause droplets, and enough droplets would cause basically a natural mirror,
yeah.
which would reflect
So,
the mountains.
Yeah. What the
so it's showing us
telescope does is the telescope has filters on it. And there's nothing magical about the telescope. It just has certain wavelength filters that lets you see things you don't normally see.
The filters aren't magical?
Nope.
Does anybody have like
Okay.
a really exception that wants to like carry the telescope?
I have a +2.
Have a
What do you
what?
give it?
What are you trying to do?
Like a high
+2.
someone who would be like a good scout with the telescope.
Delphi's got a 45 fly speed. She's a pretty good scout.
Yeah, I feel like Delphi would be. enough ones.
Perception.
So,
Telescope.
Her perception's not great, but she's a good forward scout.
as you try to take the telescope away from the chair, some of the runes on the chair activate, and you find you're unable. It's like the telescope suddenly becomes very heavy.
Yeah, let's wait until we can try to read these runes before we try to move the telescope then.
Right. Once the ritual is complete, I'd have to touch each pillar and the chair to be able to read what it says.
Okay.
How long does it last?
What? The spell?
Yeah. Wait.
Says comprehend languages lasts for an hour.
Oh, ritual is 10 minutes. Sorry.
It
My
costs 10 minutes
mistake.
to cast, or it lasts 10 minutes?
It takes 10 minutes to cast ritually, and it lasts for an hour.
Okay.
I forgot that the ritual was 10 minutes. Anyway,
Okay.
so I would, once the ritual is complete, go to each and take about a minute to try and comprehend what all of the carvings say. Okay. Sit, watch, learn, leave. The mountain belongs to none. The eye is lent, never own. Who steals the watcher's sight shall forever lose their own path. Okay, so we should
Alright.
probably leave the telescope right there.
Sounds like it.
Shouldn't
Sounds like
take it
somebody
from
should
this
sit
place.
in the chair.
I mean,
Does anybody sit in the chair?
Doc, why don't you do it? He gently pushes you.
I just picked up stuff. Like, looked through it. I mean,
Nobody wants to sit in the chair. Delphi will sit in the chair.
Okay, you're braver than I thought.
Seems like it's a pretty benign thing. When the rules are spelled out, Delphi is pretty comfortable going along with the rules.
That's true, I guess.
So Delphi will sit in the chair.
Okay.
It-
So when you sit in the chair, you'll see the same thing that Doc saw. If you're using the telescope, do you use the telescope?
Yes, Delphi will use the telescope.
Okay. What Doc and Evander see,
Averin.
or sorry, Avron see, is the chairs. There's other runes that you couldn't read before. They begin to light up, and when Delphi sees the city in its current location, you see a cloud of bats over the city.
Cloud of bats. Okay. Delphi is going to report that there is a cloud of bats over the city.
Bats.
But you get the distinct impression that the bats aren't real.
They're fake. Fake bats over the city.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
And I should mention fake giant bats.
Huge.
The
Bigger
bats,
than me.
the bats
Bigger than
are
you.
human size.
Can they do like? Can they do harm, or are they just an illusion?
You can't tell from this distance, but that is what you observe. And then the runes on the chair fade.
Maybe nobody's leaving the city because they're afraid of the fake bats.
I mean, I think the stag told us that you can go in, but you can't come out, or at least it's not easy. And I don't think it's because of the bats, because you explicitly said they're fake.
But maybe the people in the city don't know that.
Hmm. Guess
I'm
there's
sure
only
some
one way to find out.
they thought they could.
So is the chair pointed towards... Well, what direction is the chair pointed towards? Is it
Southwest.
seated towards the direction
Yes.
of Moss Hollow, or is it, what direction is it pointed towards?
It
That's the way that Delphi wants to look.
It is pointed southwest.
Okay, Delphi wants to look to the southwest and see if there's anything interesting in that direction.
That's
That
both
would be
where the
that
city is and where it will appear.
Okay.
So how many more
All right.
days before before
2
we get there?
days.
Like 3 now?
2 days.
2.
One. What?
No, this was day 3. There's 2 days left.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything like between us and Moss Hollow that we can see?
Well, there's the rest of the mountains that you have to go down now.
Yep.
And a little bit of plains to cover.
Okay. Can we see like a good route?
Yeah, pretty much the same route the mules have been following.
Okay. So there's no like mountain pass or whatever.
Well, you're technically standing in the pass.
Oh, okay.
All right. If that's it, then Delphi is going to put down the telescope and hop out of the chair.
Okay.
Leave the telescope in the chair.
When you do that, roll a perception check.
How about
Good.
a crit?
That'll work. As you put the telescope back in the chair, you hear a whisper, and it says, "Thank you. Beware of vampires."
So Delphi passes that message along.
I
There's
did think
apparently
that
vampires around.
I did think vampires when you said big ass bats, but I didn't know they were in the Feywild. Or did I?
Oh yes, there are
Oh yeah.
Feywild vampires.
Okay.
Well, everything
I
has
didn't
a
make
way
the
of
connection.
showing up in the Feywild.
Yeah, that's true. That's how I ended up. I just popped in one day,
All right.
and I was exploring some. Never mind.
The rest of this day passes uneventfully. So, day 2. Nothing happens. Yeah, one day.
Long rest.
Oh boy, that's an eventful day.
3 things that happen. Okay, we should probably
Everything
take a long
happens.
rest. I should probably take a long rest from the last day for this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it's fine.
Doesn't every day
Uh,
count as a long rest?
Yes.
Yes, but we don't always do them.
Yeah. If nothing happens, then yeah, I just assume you take a long rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that would be Delphi's watch.
Yep. Delphi's watch first.
A bad thing.
So, Delphi, as you're standing watch, uh, you hear the padding of a large creature. You can roll a perception check to see if you can identify it.
I don't perceive anything. That
Okay.
is a crit fail.
So you don't see it until it's actually standing within the light of the campfire at the edge of your camp. And what you see is you are 100% certain is a werewolf.
Yeah, I start whistling for everybody to wake up at that point.
And it's just standing there, and it's like, in a very broken commons, like, Master says, go away.
Go away where? What direction do we need to go?
Master says, Zephyr interfering.
Oh, Zephyr's our boss. Are we all awake at this point? Like we're waking up?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Well,
Ava would probably be like a bit of a light sleeper, so the whistle would be enough to wake him in like 2 minutes.
Are you telling us that like to go away from Moss Hollow?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we cannot do that. We have been tasked with investigating.
What is investigating?
I try to say it in Sylvan and then also in in Sylvan. See if he understands then. I try to say investigating in Sylvan. See if he understands that.
He doesn't understand the word.
Okay.
we have to see what's going on.
Death.
Well, that's
Did he
not
say death?
good.
Okay.
I just want to check that I heard that right. It said death.
Yeah, it said death.
Are you threatening us?
No, death is what's happening. We asked what is happening in Moss Hollow, and he said death as a response.
Okay.
Village feed, Master.
Okay, definitely a vampire in Moss Hollow. I think you should use the cloak of yours to send a message to our dear old boss.
I'm going to in
Delphi.
just a second. I want to ask this werewolf, who is your master?
No need. Just Master.
There's a chance he didn't learn the name. He was just told to call him Master, or decided to call him Master.
Did you describe him?
He stands up on his hind legs, puts his hand on top of, or a paw on the top of his head. Tall.
Okay, so about as tall as you on your hind legs.
Okay, and the master obviously knows Zephyr, or knows of him. So there's a decent chance that Zephyr, in turn, knows of his master.
There's a chance.
Yeah, Delphi starts taking notes.
Not required to kill you unless you enter village.
Hmm.
And then I no kill, master, he kill.
I see. Are you connected to your master?
He sees what I see.
I see. So he knows about us now. Well, if there's any chance for a surprise. Hey, there goes any chance for a surprise. Jesus.
Well, we are coming.
Okay. Yeah.
We
There's
don't
not
plan on
really any. I just hope that we are able to handle whatever is thrown our way.
Yes.
Tony, could I try just stealthily throw Skylight Dirk at the werewolf's throat?
Sure, you can give it a shot.
Oh, we're gonna kill him now?
I want to try to do it as concealed as possible so that it doesn't try to run away or move. Kind of like an assassin attack. $20 for stealth. And then does a 21 hit?
21 would hit. Okay.
So and 3 piercing damage.
All
Maybe
right.
I should have done.
So we'll end there for today. Monday we will begin battle with the werewolf.
My bad. So I did do it as stealthily as possible, so that I did roll a 20 total, so he would maybe have to try to roll a perception check to see if he would be able to notice if it was I that struck him. If the werewolf could see if Avery struck him with his dagger.
Oh, it won't matter. He'll just attack all of you.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
it would,
he got
you would have
stabbed.
to figure it was one of the 3 of us. Or 4 of us.
Well,
Yeah.
you can never know that if there's an additional foe somewhere. Whatever. Probably
Okay,
not smart enough.
it'll be fun. We'll figure it out.
All right, guys. See you Monday.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
later.
you'll see us later.
Yeah.
See ya.